And welcome everyone to episode 3 for the Loki Spoilercast. As always, I'm Mitch. You can find me on Twitter at Mitch692. And once again, I'm joined by Sean.
Yeah, you can enjoy me on Instagram at Marvin the Martian _12. That's it. I'm by myself with a baby, but he's sleeping, so
As I say, we've
you
got
won't hear any noises.
Got it in the right point this time. We haven't left it too long for him to
Hopefully.
back up again. He's nice and
Oh no, this is the younger one, so like he.
Oh, it's the younger.
Yeah, it's not.
Swap them
not
out.
the big. It's the small fry, not the big one.
So yeah, episode 3 of a very smaller episode.
Yeah,
Very
a lot. I heard a lot of like descriptions of the show as being filler, and I was like, I don't think people paid attention to that episode.
No, people said this with both WandaVision and Falcon at some specific points. They're like, oh, it's just filler. It's like you have no idea what the hell filler is. You have no idea what it's called filler. People even said it for Invincible. It's like, oh, the Rihanna men are just filler. They they're not important to anything. Blah 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 blah. It's like they are not filler. You've clearly not read the book. Wait.
Well, it's a buzzword people use to make
100%.
Themselves more savvy. It's like there's a lot of things going on in the background and a lot of things that go on with the dialogue that really I think kind of add to what's to come and what the character has done before.
People have appropriated filler from the whole anime culture and that fandom. It's like filler is a legitimate term for something that has no relevance to anything. It's not even part of the plot.
I'll give you
part of the plot. It's not filler. By definition.
I'll give you a correct version of the usual filler. Supernatural seasons are filler. X-Files, a lot of filler. There's just a lot of fluff. In those shows because this show actually did something to the narrative where a filler would just basically is just a show. It's basically a bottleneck show. Where everything is just
This is pure character development. This episode, it's 100% pure character development.
Yeah, and if you pay attention to the show, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about Sylvie.
Yes,
Sylvie. Sorry, Sylvie. And Loki himself. And like I really loved the look. The backgrounds. If you look at the backgrounds, it's beautiful color.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's very
setting.
Because I'm just gonna get out of the way. Now, this is the episode. People are the main one of the main talking points is the whole Loki's bi. He spoke it. It's not just it's not just written on a bit of paper like them saying he's gender fluid. It's been spoken into the world now. Do you have to see it? I imagine at some point people would like to see something. But right now, it's spoken. It's out there. It's fine. It's a thing. And the color, the whole colors work into that. Cause at least the train scene, it's the bi flag colors. He's in the blue. There's purple and there's pink. That is the 3 colors of that flag. And so I thought it was a nice touch. It's like, you know what? I mentioned that. And I always find it funny when people shit themselves and get up in full on rage about Loki being anything but straight. It's like you have no idea what Loki is.
I think there's 2 things to that. It's like one, it's a fictional character. It's whatever the writer wants it to be, and and then 2, it's like as long as it brings something to the narrative, which it does, then it's cool. I don't care. I never you never if you hold on to things like that, then there's something inherently wrong. And I'm not saying people are but it's just you have to just accept it. It's just a way it is. And that's how the creators want it to be. And it's I think it's good because it does bring that representation to the character, which is if you read the comics, I'm sure they don't outright say it in the comics, I don't think, but
no, they have. They have.
Oh, they have. Okay, so it's it's in the comics. Why is it such a big deal that it's been brought to the show?
It's more than that. This is the character that's based on actual mythology.
Yeah.
And if anyone's ever read that mythology, full well he turned himself into a horse, got banged by a horse, and then gave birth to a horse. if you're fine with that, but not with him being bi, there's something seriously wrong with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you look at those time periods, I mean, in any culture, I mean, the Romans, God, they were they were fornicating with everybody.
I say history's a lot gayer than straight white men would have to think.
Well, I think the problem is like people don't have a correct perception of like actual history, because like you look at all that actual history. I mean, like I said, Roman history is, it's just, there's, you know, like guys loving guys and women loving women. It's like, it's there, you know. It's in.
So they didn't care. They just banged whoever they wanted to bang.
Yeah, I mean, watch the movie Caligula, and then you'll know exactly what I'm saying. It's a pretty accurate representation of the Roman history. But it's like,
but who'd have thought history taught in schools was wrong? Who would have thought?
Well, take that aside, history and real life and whatever. It's just, I think it adds more depth to the character, you know, like it's,
yeah.
You know, it's not, he's not saying it to say it. He says it adds something to the character, you know, and like it and a lot of the stuff that's being built up will be explored more eventually down the line, you know. Like, I don't know. I think people just need to kind of loosen up.
Say people need to relax and kind of realize that, oh, they're not forcing me to be this. You know, no one's saying you have to.
Yeah, I mean, like, guys, Captain America's black, Loki's bi. It's fact. It's what the characters are. You just have to accept it. You know, if you don't like it, then don't watch it or don't read it. You know, it's just as simple as that. You know, like that's the best way to don't.
But this is the thing, they're gonna watch. They always watch it. They're never not gonna watch it. It's just
some people just want to complain about everything.
Say people just want to. If you want to be like part of the 1 million mums, go be one of the 1 million Karens. Like, no, you're gonna get memed the hell out of.
Yeah, I think it's a great episode. I think, you know, I mean, again,
I don't think it was the strongest, personally.
No,
I didn't hate it. I did really enjoy it. But I definitely think the first two might have been stronger. No,
I think the strongest is yet to come, in my opinion. But like, you know, the show, I think every show has like that episode where it's not it's kind of the weak link.
It's the slow point. It's just we've ramped up to this point, and now we've got to take it slow.
But you know, it's a very, what interests me about the episode is like you learn a lot about the characters, including Sylvie. You know, like you learn a lot more than it's like you said, it's character development. You know, in like every show, if you just went through the whole show of just action, set piece after set piece, that is kind of empty and hollow. You know, you have to.
Yeah, if you're only appealing to the dude bros who want to see the Michael Bay Transformers, then fine. Like,
go rent Transformers or something. You know.
There's the Transformers and the Fast and Furious crowd. Like, if you want that, go watch that.
Nothing wrong with it. You know, that's just. But if that's what you're
they're
looking
both
for, this is not always going to be that.
Perfectly honest, there's a lot wrong with both those franchises.
I mean,
I will be that
separate episode.
I'll be that guy.
It could be an hour-long episode about just WTF, you know. But
it's like people are dumb for liking Fast and Furious now.
I don't want to say people are dumb. I think it's just like
people will say far worse about me. I will absolutely say that.
Yeah, I think it's just it's an acquired taste. I enjoy some of it, but I'm not like an aficionado, if you want to put it that way. But like
the last good one was Tokyo Drift, and I will fight anyone who does this.
Well, I completely agree, because it had more character. You know, it didn't have Dom and his family talk. You know, like it didn't have him singing family like 50 times in one movie.
But anyway,
that's a different podcast.
But no, I like that they've seemingly taken from the comics the whole, like, she's got one horn on the crown.
Yeah.
And when they did that, when they changed Loki up slightly, that was to signify that he's kind of broken free from his own destiny.
Yeah.
And he's like he can be whoever he wants to be. He's not on a set path or anything. And they've seemingly taken that for Sylvie, with her being and did we got a preview for next week? I haven't watched it because I don't want to watch it, but I've seen the screenshot of a young Sylvie with black hair. So something's clearly gone on here. I imagine, which actually, in fairness, it kind of, at least for me, legitimizes more my theory that she's not actually this age and doesn't she, like she's still a Loki, but it's more like she's projecting herself to be older and blonde hair.
Yeah,
but she's still like this younger kid.
I don't want to confirm or deny this, so you just have to watch that.
Don't do what we did last week.
Yeah. Kind of let that one slip a little bit. I'm surprised no one's called me out on it. So that was the big revelation. What did you say last week? Like, well, that was the big revelation, right?
Yeah. So that's my thinking is more like it could be something simple as she's just changing her hair with magic. Because why wouldn't you do that at some point? You're gonna get tired of.
Well, it's Loki, and like you can't really trust what you see half the time, anyways, because like it's it's not called the trickster, got a mystery for no reason.
Me and Armin were laughing about it. They say they say it a lot. It's like every other word at one point. They use the word enchantment and enchanted a lot in this episode, and I'm like, all right, calm down. We all get it. Sylvie is an enchantress. Just you haven't got to keep saying the damn word. We're gonna. I know they're gonna say it so much they're gonna get to the enchantress point because there's no other variation of the word left for them to use. But
I'm sure they can figure it out. Like there's a dictionary out there. Thesaurus.
They're just like, okay, show. I get you. I figured it out.
So yeah, do you want to move on to the big revelation or?
Yeah. So the TVA aren't what they say they are. Big surprise. I know everyone's shocked and fell off their seats, but the big revelation is that they are all variants.
Yeah. Which is interesting because like that isn't that what the TVA is supposed to stop?
Yeah. They're actively employing's a strong word.
Or slave labor.
Enslaving poor variant. But what I'm confused with is kind of like how I imagine the whole disintegration reset thing isn't what they say it is either. I assume it's like a teleport mind wipe thing to then get them into the service. Because if they're all made up of variants, and if they're going to keep wiping the variants out, surely you're just going to add them to your ranks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull what I did last week and slip something out, so I'm not going to further elaborate on that. But
I'm just going to take that.
I love that because it kind of confirms that like the timekeepers aren't exactly who they say they were. Like if the timekeepers exist at all. So like,
I'm still convinced it's a Wizard of Oz. They're just going to be tiny little people behind the curtain.
I mean, who's to say? I mean,
if it's for me, it fits too well with what this show's doing. It's like tiny little
Wizard of Oz motif.
Yeah. Just like
well, like it's like I can't remember exactly what it is like in the comic book and how the timekeepers really are. I think
they look exactly like the statues. The statues are 100% what they look like in the comics.
But everybody you got to realize is like the shows aren't exactly doing this verbatim. So like they're gonna put their own like interesting twist on who the timekeepers are. But I have a feeling, and I guess it's not fair for me to say, but that there's something's not right in something stinks in Denmark. Is that the saying?
I have no idea.
Something rotten in Denmark.
I'm gonna.
But yeah, like I love the fact that means that somewhere around that there's actual Mobius running around in the Prime universe on a jet ski somewhere.
Yeah, it does. It also explains why he likes a jet ski.
Yeah, that's gonna play a big role on him, like how he.
Oh, and you were close. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Okay.
Very close.
Close. It's my variant version of that saying. So. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, it's. So I was saying to Tommy as well when we did the commentary. Like, I don't know how I didn't clock that the TVA are all variants right from the start. That at the start of this episode, they go back to the last episode where she takes the TVA agent and gets the information she wants, and we see her in like the whole mindscape thing, and she's trying to trick her into getting this information out.
Yeah,
and
not very well.
No, which makes me believe even more she's a kid and she's not exactly great at this sort of stuff. Also explains why she had the strop later on. It's like, yeah, you're definitely a kid, definitely a child. I'm certain. If she's not, then I don't know where they're going with it. But but yeah, like this girl's on Earth and they're drinking all like Earth drinks, and she's dressed in Earth clothes, and it's clearly on Earth. And it's like, well, how did I not put two and two together?
Yeah.
Like at that point, like the end of the episode, and it's like, oh yeah, they're all variants. It's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, I love the fact. What I love about the show is like if you look at every person and like there's somewhere there's like what's his name the guy that you like.
Oh, Casey.
Casey. There's this Casey running around in the sacred line. Like maybe he's not like he's just like a evil version of that.
Well, this is the thing. If they're all variants, don't they wipe those people out of the timeline? Or is it just a variant they wipe out?
I believe that will be a little bit more explored at the end, towards the end of the episode, these seasons.
Because they give that whole spiel. It's like, right, well, the variant. The Nexus point happens here, and we reset the timeline at this point. It's like, well, if that person became the variant, does it reset back to before that happened, and then that person carries on going again? I'd like to know how that works. But if we get it, we get it. Cool. If not, it's fine.
So, what is your prediction on where this?
I mean, it's 100% Renslayer. She's doing something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's the only one that seems to have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, and she was shady as hell from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you look at her, like, you don't need to know anything, and you can say something off about how she talks, she's.
I would be surprised. I'm not going to say he's in the show. I'm not going to be like certain other people that are like, oh, Mephisto's going to be in this week's episode. Oh, this is a waste of time. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. Right? Like, she does have a relationship to Kang. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like in service to Kang, but he's not going to be in the show. Like, I think that's the way it's like. That's going to be a revelation we find out later on. Like, say in Quantumania, if Kang's in that, why wouldn't she be in there?
Yeah, I mean,
it would make a lot of sense, and that way Kang can kind of go undetected and do what he's doing. I think that's. I think that's the route I take personally.
Would it be interesting to say that if Kang started the TVA? I'm not saying this is what it is.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I kind of hate the idea that would mean IGN would clearly take credit for them because they went, "Oh, this middle timekeeper is clearly Kang." It's like, no, it's a timekeeper.
No, what if these timekeepers are just kind of like, I don't know, it's like the faces, like it's just symbol. It's not necessarily there's three people, there's three creatures doing one thing. Maybe it's just one person, Yeah. And this is not me saying anything. Yeah, don't take this. I don't want to hear my name or see my name in any article. Just saying, like, it would be interesting, right? Like if you're gonna use Kang, I would say that would be an interesting way or one possible way.
I tell you what, I'd find really. I haven't seen anyone else say this. I don't. That's not me saying that. Is clearly I'm just being big brained and unique here, but the whole thing is before. The whole spiel they give is that there was a multiversal war, then the timekeepers came in. Well, what if it was? I swear there's an elder of the universal time, and I can't think what it is.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
Oh, who is it? I know.
Is it like a silver, like one of the elders of the universe?
Yeah, I just can't think. I mean, the thing of the elders of the universal father time, and I know they're both in there.
Yeah.
I just can't think
Google machine, do your job.
Is it just Father Time's the elder? Oh, apparently it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know. It was one of the two. It's like, oh no, it's literally they're the same one. Yeah. Like Father Time is right there. I think that makes too much sense.
Okay.
Because their whole spiel is that they're like the last survivors of their race from before.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, all the other elders are old actors. Richard E. Grant's old.
Do you think that they could tie in? Again, this is me spitballing here. Galactus in this too. Like seeing that Galactus came from a different.
I mean, quite possible. Yeah.
Like use Galan. You know,
it seems to be an idea they're wanting people to think about. It's like there's been more than one version of reality.
Yeah.
Like how the in the comics. I think we're on the 7th one now. It's like, hey, maybe the movies are in the 2nd, maybe they're in the 4th. Who knows? But this is a concept and an idea that has happened before.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty evident even at the beginning of the show how they explain that this is not the first. I think they said it's like not the first time this has happened. It's like something's always happening like this. It's just like that's.
I would say they say there was a multiversal war and then they reorganized and that's what they said. That's literally all we've had so far.
Maybe I'm adding things to it that I don't. I'm sorry.
Are you doing last week against Sean?
No. This is I've turned that part of my brain off. So.
I was gonna say because I'm not editing that.
There's no spoilers in anything I'm saying at this point because that part of my brain has been switched off. So the USB port.
I'll be watching next week's episode with a microscope to make sure.
Yeah, I think next week is what, the 4th episode?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So we're at the
halfway
quote unquote end game, of this show, So
well, we're halfway through the 2nd act.
Yeah.
Already, because it's split into 2.
Yeah. I think by the end of the season, people are going to be fucking. It's going to be it's not going to be mind blowing, but it's going to be like I think the revelation at the end of the last episode. It's going to be like, oh, wow, it's going to be that like kind of a mic drop, so to speak.
Yeah. I've just really convinced I can't get Father Time out of my head now. Just it makes too much sense.
If it happens, you can definitely take the credit for that, man.
I will. I'm going to literally tweet this out.
Nothing to do with it.
When we finish recording, I'm going to tweet this out, and I'm going to absolutely take credit for it.
You gotta take it. You gotta tweet it out first before IGN blows it up.
I just have to make sure it's like, hey. Because I know IGN do it. They have stolen stuff from people I know in the past, and it's like, hey.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
That was my theory, IGN. I know full well you took it from me.
I'm 100% sure they probably plagiarize other things too. So take that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna. At the end of the day, it's gonna set up Loki in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the season, like you're gonna be like. That's the thing about this Loki character is like there's a lot you can do with the character, whether Tom Hiddleston's involved or not. You can do a lot of things with this character.
Yeah. I mean, just the nature of the character. You can kill him off and bring him back as whatever you want.
Yep. I mean,
Loki season 2 could so easily be the Loki we lost in Infinity War, just as something else.
Or who knows? I mean, it could be Sylvie, taking over. It
could very well. I'm still convinced that she's going to be a kid and be part of the Young Avengers. I'm absolutely convinced.
I mean, it does line up. I mean, they are introducing a lot of Young Avengers in these shows and movies.
You say every even before these came out, it was so obvious. It's like, oh look, every single one has an attachment to a Young Avenger. How funny! Yeah, they won't. They refuse to announce a Young Avengers, whatever. It's everyone knows your game. Just announce it.
Just spill the beans, man.
You'll know it's coming in 2023. Just do it.
There's a lot of things on that whiteboard. You know?
Yeah. So. Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts, Young Avengers, Ultimates, Champions. There's a ton of stuff.
I mean, Howard the Duck. You know.
Yeah.
I would. On a side note, I would love to have a live action Howard the Duck movie show. That, not the George Lucas one, but.
I mean, like a little mini series, like a one and done. I think you could get away with.
Set on nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Him with the dog.
Oh, Cosmo.
Cosmo, yeah. Just the Avengers pets.
I will say that one thing it didn't bug me about this episode, but I thought it was a bit inconsistent with everything else. Like the whole premise is them trying to get off of this apocalyptic planet or moon, which, by the way, fantastic reference to Annihilation Conquest. It's just like, hey, I remember that planet from that one Parade issue and never saw again. But
we see the end of
it. It's just like, oh, that story will never happen. But no, they know they can hang out in apocalypses because the variant energy doesn't go off.
Yeah.
Sylvie knows no one makes it off the planet or the moon or wherever, and that the Ark doesn't go off. But their whole plan was to hijack her Ark to make sure it gets off. And it's like, but the whole point of hiding out in apocalypse was that variant energy doesn't happen, and it's gonna happen. Like that apocalyptic event is gonna happen regardless. You can't change anything about it. That's why you get no variant energy off. So what was the point in trying it?
And the interesting part is like she went along with it.
I can't.
She knows.
I can't understand. Well, they both know, didn't they? Because Loki's like, oh yeah, you know, he's the one that figured all this out. It's like I can't understand why that was the thing. Unless there's some ulterior motive to it and they're going to reveal it later down the line, then fine. But right now, I'm like, it didn't line up with what the show's been saying so far.
Well, I mean, like, considering the fact that if they didn't try, you know, like...
I mean, there is that. It's kind of like, oh, hey, you know, we're here now, we're dead. But it's like, it is... Now, at the same time, you didn't have to write them to go to that exact planet. You could have got them anywhere else. It was a script choice to go to that time and place.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, I assume there is, and because I always hate being that guy. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Like when you're halfway through something, it's like no, wait till the end and then you can pick.
Yeah, I say what I say to those people is wait till the end of the series and then go back and nitpick. You know.
Yeah, so I just it's not something I note straight away or even a second time round. It's something that I just thinking about it and talking about it. I'm like, how did that work? But I'm
okay.
I have faith that. No, every time I've questioned something in these shows, it's always come back round. So hopefully.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm not a fan of people that say that type of stuff in the middle of the season. It's like the plan hasn't even been fully laid out, and you're telling you're because like by the middle of any TV show season, there's always something that doesn't make sense until the end of the season, and then I always say, just watch the whole season and then let's revisit this conversation. You know. After, you know, like if it still doesn't make sense, you know, to you, then let's go back and revisit this after the season's ended, you know, because there's a possibility that they will explain it, whether you like that explanation or not, but it will probably be explained by the end of the season. Yeah,
it could very well easily be that Mobius was lying about the variant energy. And I mean, they actually can quite easily track them down in apocalyptic events, but it's just a case of like, well, we can kill two Lokis here with one stone.
Well, I looked at that conversations like Mobius sounded really surprised when Loki came up with that idea. You know,
he did, but he's also a really good actor.
It's true. I mean, I have a feeling that as much as Mobius thinks he knows, I don't think he knows everything.
Oh no.
That you know, I feel like that conversation was pretty genuine because like the question is like, if he knew that, why would he enlist? Why would he go all this trouble to enlist that the very end, like about they, because if he knew, he'd be like, yeah, go ahead, erase him, like unless he. I feel like unless he feel like he put his reputation on the line to bring that Loki into working with them. It's like, if he knew all along, then that's just, I feel like that's a hole if that's the case, because like there's no reason to bring Loki on to the team if he knew about that.
No, it's just there's something fishy going on, and I think that absolutely. I'd like to think that the whole them going there and trying to change this thing plays a part in that. If it doesn't, we will absolutely come back to it and we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's not like it's ruined the episode for me as a whole. It's just something. It's just it could very well be a little inconsistency that I've just picked up on, and that's
it's a very well possibility. If it's going to be explained, it's going to be explained next episode. Like where it's like. Like because there's still a couple other places that Loki has to go.
Yeah, he's got to run for president. What happened to that?
That and like like you can just watch the promos and like it shows like there's at least 2 or 3 places that they haven't gone, so they have to explain how they got off and what why.
Yeah. I purely assume that they just TVA going to show up at one point and get him, but that's purely my just like, of course they're going to come get him. How else are they going to do it? Like, but I
think the one he goes to Ragnar. I mean, well, I mean, it's in the promos. I mean, like I don't think people have.
I mean, I haven't seen the promo. I don't watch.
No, I mean, I don't think it happens so much now. But it does. I mean, it's in the promos where he is in Ragnarok. He is visiting Ragnarok.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. We talked.
That's what I was saying. It's like I don't watch the promo.
I'm gonna watch it now. Let me mind wipe you, and we'll start all over this conversation.
I'll be perfectly honest. I will absolutely forget by Wednesday. My brain is. Probably some form of depression somewhere, or there's a tumor in my throat, like that's the memory. It's one of the two.
It's a tumor. But yeah, I think next episode is gonna be interesting. I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait. It's even though Wednesdays have still thrown me off, I'm not 100% sure what day I am at any point.
But do you like the Wednesday thing versus the Friday thing now? Like,
right now, no. Hate it. Absolutely.
Because you're gonna do everything.
I was very comfortable in a schedule. I had my schedule. We stuck to it like clockwork.
Well, get used to it. It's gonna be like this for a while.
I don't want to get used to it. I don't like it.
It's gonna be like the next. At least the next.
I don't like change, and it's been changed. I hate it. I had a good 5 years of everything being Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I knew everything. Like, those 2 days of the week, I knew. Now it's just bang, and like, my Thursdays are just this empty hole in a week, and it's like, what do I do on a Thursday now? And it's like, okay. It's current, I'm only 3 weeks into this thing. Like, if I'm going to come around to it, it's going to take me a long time.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm absolutely
mortified.
I hate. I absolutely hate. I hate the fact that it only took 2 weeks for Loki for them to be like, oh yeah, everything's now Wednesday. It's like, great. No, just spit on me when you kick me in the nuts with that, thing.
Well, I think they kicked you in the balls. I was gonna say, like, I think they specifically kicked you in the balls, but I don't know. I like it personally, because it's like, doing things like this.
I understand why. I get the whole, like, other places and competitions have Thursdays and Fridays on the lock. Like, why fight that when you've got your own day? I absolutely get that, but it's like you chose like a Monday.
Still not a fan of it, regardless.
So if you'd chosen a Monday, like, it would have been the start of the week, and great, yeah, I know exactly when Monday is. I have no clue when Wednesday is. It just appears, and like people start talking about Loki. It's like, oh, cool, it's Wednesday.
What was Armin's reaction
it's
to
Friday.
it?
No, it's not. It's Wednesday. Like, I haven't got it in my head yet.
what was Armin's reaction to it when they? Because that's
I don't stick, to be honest. No, he's the one that's like, oh yeah, we're going to move the podcast to Wednesdays. And it's like that kind of helped, but I feel like I'm in a daze in my weeks now. I've been thrown off. I've been thrown for a loop that much. I'm literally just a zombie walking through time. I have no clue when anything is. I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna be like this for the foreseeable future.
I honestly, I kind of feel like my perception of time now with the Wednesdays is like when you're a kid, everything, a year is like forever, but when you're older, a year's nothing. And I feel like the two have been slammed together, and that's how my perception of time works now. I have no clue what's going on. It could be a lifetime. It could be in a blink of an eye.
Well, can I ask you this? It was great marketing, man.
I mean, it's very consistent. Yes, thematically very well done. But if they're trying to make a variant out of me, then I don't know if they succeeded or not. Because I don't know if they've reset the timeline. But I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate.
Air your grievances to Disney Plus customer service.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not one of those people. I'm British. I'll just suffer in silence and bitch about it. What we do.
Excuse me.
Never lodge a formal complaint, but complain to everyone else. That's the English way.
Mumble in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I think that will bring an end to this week. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about?
Nothing this week.
Yeah. Because I assume next week we get the shot of Sylvie sitting on the rock, because that was all purple and this is all purple, and they sat down a lot in this episode.
100%. Yeah, this is the like, it's the beginning, towards the beginning of the episode. Like,
sweet. Like, also, I'm gonna leave it off on this. The detail or the attention to detail in the language difference when she says you're drunk and he goes no, I'm full is fantastic.
Yeah. I love the Asgardian song too. Like, it's just
yes.
All that little details to the show that just really makes it.
And if people have no idea what I'm talking about, full, I believe it's full in Norwegian means drunk.
Drunk, yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice little detail. Obviously, Norwegian, or that Scandinavian area. But yeah, it's a nice taste.
For you Hot Toys collectors, man. Expect at least 2 figures from this show. So
yeah, it's. I mean, I would have thought at least 3.
I mean, it's possibly 3, but like,
because you got Sylvie, you're gonna get the Loki costume. He's gonna clearly have at the end, and then you get the President Loki.
Well, yeah. I mean, from what I've gathered, like, it might be like an all-in-one, like. You know, you get the
what, like the Hawkeye Ronin Deluxe one?
Like, yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah, because like the variant costume is just pants, shirt, tie, and jacket. You know, like I think the more intricate one is, you know, but like expect at least 2, for what I've heard.
So inside that would be about $400, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't know. Don't Loki. It might not be that.
Just letting people know, the collectors, don't buy the third-party one that's coming out now. Don't waste your money on it, because
it doesn't look great. I've seen that one. The head sculpt's weird.
It doesn't look good. And third-party ones never look good. And like, also, the third-party, the company. Like, I don't want to sound like an old miser, but like, you know, nobody's paying royalties here. You know, they're not paying it. Yeah. They're not paying licensing fees.
Yeah.
That company's making pure profit. You know, not this. You know.
So yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of the halfway point of this series. So we'll be back next week. So yeah, have a fun weekend. I'm not sure, because obviously members get this first. I'm not sure when. I think it's like Saturday, and then YouTube gets it Monday. I think I'm not 100% sure. It might be Sunday. I can't remember. But yeah, so have fun, and we'll catch you next week. So bye bye.
Bye bye.